Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Justin.
And we are here to bring you our second video about SEMA cars.
So, for anybody that didn't see the first video, SEMA cars, what we call SEMA cars, are the cars that Ford gives out to partners for $1. And basically that partner has to build them for the SEMA show.
So we're going to walk you through what our relationship and our submissions to Ford have been through the past several years, including the cars that we did receive, which you already saw the video about, and then also some of the cars that we didn't receive, and what happened when we didn't receive cars.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of ideas that never made it.
Fruition.
Yeah, but there are some that did. So I see your first SEMA submission over there, VMP's first SEMA submission, that kind of got this whole deal started.
Yeah. This was back in 2015. It was a submission for a 2015 Mustang, something that we were really, really excited about. It was the newest thing, first year of the S550, and we were excited to be submitting a car to Ford with the prospect of possibly receiving one and being able to build what was essentially my dream car at that point.
Build a bad arse drag racing Mustang.
We were contacted by somebody at Ford Racing that let us know that they had a dearth of performance vehicles that were submitted for the program that year.
Nada.
There wasn't any, and he's someone that had known us for a long time and thought that we were a good prospect to possibly bring a performance vehicle to the Ford stage.
We had both worked with him for years. He'd known us for a couple of 6, 7, 8 years, and he was involved closely with Ford SEMA's program, having worked at Ford Racing for years. And he contacted us, and I think you had 48 hours or 24 hours?
It was like 24 hours to get a rendering, to put together a whole proposal, to give them background on what VMP Performance did, what we could bring to them, what type of partnerships we were going to possibly bring to the table.
So, I mean, I remember you doing this presentation and just kind of cover all these bases as to why they should give you and VMP a car. So it was really a thrash.
Sometime after that 24-hour mark, I got a phone call from Michigan area code and got to speak to one of the gentlemen on the team, and
yeah, and I think I was with you, and they ended up asking to speak to your husband, right?
Yeah, even though the proposal was submitted solely from me, I was the only person that had worked on it. They did ask to speak to Justin, and I, being the type of person I am, very quickly obliged.
And what we ended up finding out is Ford was very interested to potentially have a new partner. Even with our hookup at Ford Racing, we were a little bit late to the game with the proposal. So this car right over here never ended up ever becoming a SEMA dollar car.
Never came to fruition.
Yeah, so. As a SEMA dollar car. Never as a SEMA dollar car.
But it did evolve.
It evolved quite a bit. So you got pregnant with our 5th child, and later that year in August, we ended up buying a ruby red 2015 Mustang from Gary Yeoman's Ford.
Yep, absolutely.
That was a manual car.
Yeah, MT82 car.
Because we knew we were going to strip it down and turn it into a race car.
Yeah, so.
Cheapest car possible, base model. Paid like, somewhere in the high 20s with rebates and everything.
How many miles did we put on it before we started tearing it apart?
I think about 3,500.
Yeah, there weren't many miles on it.
Joe and I used it to develop manual S550 calibrations because the car we previously had purchased for development was an automatic, and it got torn down and eventually was going to be turned into this.
Yeah, something like that.
But like I was saying, there was a lot happening at VMP at that time frame. Rebecca was pregnant with our 5th child. The company was growing. So when it came time to submit submissions for 2016, we actually ended up with something a little bit different. We developed 2 concepts internally, had them rendered, and like we said in the previous video, this was really a team effort from the whole team at VMP. And the one was Track Attack, and then the other one was, what did we call that car?
Oh, Locomotion.
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 Having worked with Ford the previous year, you know, they said, hey, the more submissions, the more chances you have of winning. As cheesy as that sounds, they're all about ideas, and the more ideas you submit, the more likely you are to get picked.
And just to put it in perspective, the renderings themselves are not an easy process and not necessarily a cheap process either. They come at $400 to $500 a pop, essentially. And there's a lot of back and forth. There's, you know, if you are building a drag car, they'll ask you, did you want mirrors on it? Did you not want mirrors on it? If you are, you know, where exactly did you want the exhaust? Do you want it on both the passenger and the driver's side? You know, just a lot of different back and forth, and like really detail oriented things.
Like you're trying to describe a theme through details, I feel like, because the details make it unique.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, sending over little pieces of inspiration, like, oh, we like this specific patch, we want to incorporate that somewhere on the car, or this specific emblem, so can we do that? Oh, and these are the wheels. Oh, and they have to be 5 spokes. You know, just a bunch of different like intricacies that you really, really have to get into.
Yeah, I mean everything from matte black to flat black to how low the car is. There's so many little details you have to work out with the artist that's rendering it for you, and then convey that to Ford when you submit the proposal.
So 2016 came and went. We ended up with Track Attack that you saw in the first video, and right here from a calendar. And that's how 16 ended. We actually did get a dollar car that year.
Track Attack was on the SEMA show floor, and it was really a great experience from then on out. We did a lot with the car, took it everywhere with us to shows, races. We raced it, beat the heck out of it. Come 2017, we had 3 fresh ideas to submit to Ford: an F-150, a Mustang, and a Focus RS. How did the Focus evolve into that idea?
So it was a lot of work from everybody at VMP, a lot of back and forth, not just with VMP, but with Ford also, to deliver a Focus RS that would be interesting and exciting on the Ford stage.
These SEMA cars were the first time that we were ever really challenged as a company to build show cars, because we had always been about racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being involved with SEMA helped us appreciate how important the show is. That's what catches people's attention at first. So the Focus was really targeted at looking good, going fast, not just in a straight line, but around corners too. And then we had some other ideas that we submitted the same year. A Mustang that was aircraft themed, but flat black, very stealth fighter type, instead of Track Attack's gray fighter bomber style.
Yeah, it kind of followed that evolution of how aeronautics evolved. You know, went from earlier looking aircraft themes to, you know, the next generation of aircraft theme. So
fast, low, sleek, black, and this car right here really, in retrospect, laid the foundations for some things that we ended up doing later on anyways.
So that year we did get the Focus, like we said, but at the same time we were simultaneously working on that ruby red car, and we brought something to Ford outside of the SEMA dollar car program, and it was this car, which may look a little bit familiar to some of you.
We had so many different inspirations for this car. Once again, we wanted to bring back the pinup art theme.
We have been really successful with that, and we like that.
And for what it's worth, this was not an actual SEMA dollar car proposal, this car itself, but it had evolved from Rebecca's original SEMA dollar car proposal that got VMP involved in the program to begin with. So I really love a lot of things about this car. At the same time that Rebecca was designing this, the Focus was being built at a local custom paint shop, Chris Cruz Artistry. So you were able to talk with Chris Cruz.
Yep, absolutely. We worked hard on the design aspects of that, and it was something that I just put a lot of time and effort into. It was something that was important to me. We already had a car from it. We needed a partner to help kind of transform that 2015 ruby red car into something that looked like an 18 car.
Yeah, and you drew this awesome pinup art girl because, like you said, once again, it has worked well. Chris Cruz kind of had his own spin on the pinup art girl, and some evolutions of the idea, and we ended up with this rendering drawn from many different cars we'd seen out there on the internet. I mean, I mentioned John Urist. Who else did we see that kind of helped inspire you?
Urist, Tucci Hot Rods kind of came along later afterwards, but their wing was ended up being a big part of it. I had always wanted a Mustang with a cowl hood, and I think that no Mustang needs a cowl hood more than a 2018. So I started just like banging on people's doors, basically like, hey, I need you to build me an 18 cowl hood, and they're like, oh, we can't even get a hood, so go fly a kite, basically.
Like, Rebecca was developing this rendering a couple months before SEMA, and even as the SEMA show was going on, developing the whole concept of the car. So yeah, the parts for the 18 Mustang just weren't out yet.
Yeah. I went to a multitude of people and asked them, can you do this for me? What will it take? How do we do this? I need a cowl hood for an 18 Mustang, and pretty much was met with no every step of the way.
And then I remember mailing a full-size 11 by 17 rendering to a couple companies. I'm like, you know, if I mail this to them, they'll stick it on the wall, and just ideas will start to evolve. I mean, that's how desperate we were.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely. We had this awesome rendering. We didn't want to see it go to the wayside.
Yeah.
Even though I kept on being told no, I just wanted to keep on pursuing it. So we did. And
we were eventually able to get somewhere with it. So we're going to touch a little bit on that later.
Yep.
So this last year, 2018, Rebecca had two new fresh ideas that I will let you show them.
Yeah, so 2018 we decided we were going to submit again, that we wanted to go ahead and try to get another dollar car from the Ford SEMA program, and we realized our success with Mustangs in the past and wanted to go with another Mustang. So instead of just one, we submitted two.
We just basically refocused it on Mustangs.
Yeah, that's what we do, that's what we're good at, and we want to do more of it. So over here we've got the Snow White Bad Apple Mustang that took a lot of gothic elements like the grille and detail on the side, and it was kind of based on Justin Young's Mustang. You might recognize the pearly white color, and I had seen the color of his car and just really wanted to be able to use that somewhere. So
like, imagine having a pearl white, Mustang, clean, pure, but able to unleash the power of hell in the terms of horsepower.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the idea and the spirit behind that concept.
And then again, building on Track Attack's success, we are going to go with an aviation themed Mustang again. We submitted this car kind of based on the Osprey aircraft, and again keeping some of the military theme that was important to me. It had resonated with people with Track Attack, and I wanted to go ahead and incorporate that into this car as well.
Basically a drag strip ready street car. I mean, both of these cars have bigs and littles on them in typical Rebecca spirit.
They both have 5-spokes too.
Yeah, lots of hook out back, a skinny little tire up front. They would have both been automatic cars.
Yeah, so neither of these cars came to fruition. We didn't get either of them. Ford let us know that they had decided to go a different way. They actually let Justin know.
They didn't call you. They only called me, unfortunately, because Rebecca was the one who had you know, put the submissions together, submitted them to Ford, done all the legwork and everything.
Yeah, I was pretty much the SEMA car department at VMP at that point, and instead of contacting me, they contacted Justin and let us know that we did not receive a car for 2018.
Yeah.
But that was okay because we had other stuff on our plate.
We're going to head out to the shop and we're going to show you what we did build.
Becca, this looks an awful lot like the cowl hood in the rendering.
It does. It looks an awful lot like it. I liked it a whole lot, and so did the guys at Anderson Composites. So in 2017, like we said, we sent over that big picture. They hung it up in their office at SEMA. I spoke to them, and they let us know that they were going to go ahead and make that cowl hood. It was at their booth at SEMA, and I was going to get one, and we were going to build the car.
We actually got to walk over to their booth and see the cowl hood and the fenders and basically the whole front end put together. It was pretty freaking awesome. So, and the deal with getting all these carbon fiber parts was that we had to build the car in how long?
It needed to be ready for PRI, which was SEMA at the beginning of November, and PRI's at the beginning of December. So we had a month, but we also had a race in there. So.
Yeah, so we really had like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
It was 14 days that we built it start to finish.
Yeah, every night in the shop after work, me, you, and Kenny doing whatever.
Painting, sanding, painting.
Some welding in there, some everything else, and
Welding on the firewall.
yeah, and it was multiple layers of painting, primer, and then top coat, this flat black that we did. So it was an awesome experience, and it was really exciting for me to see your original concept come to life and to have some great partners like Anderson Composites to help it come to life.
Absolutely. Anderson, Chi Hot Rods.
Oh, you got the wing from one of the other SEMA cars. They built you one just like it.
Yeah, Dave Tucci, I fell in love with his wing at SEMA 2017, and I said, I need one, and he said, I'll build you one. So Dave's always great to work with. Billet Specialties. Billet Specialties has been a great partner that helped me out getting some 5-spokes on this car too. And
Optic Armor got your windshields.
Absolutely. HP Tuners has been a great partner for all of my race program stuff. So yeah, a lot of support and a lot of hard work, a lot of dreaming going into this. A long time from 2015 to 2019 now.
And after you have number 6, we're actually going to see this car run down the track later this year.
Super excited.
So when we walked out here, you may have seen something else that was kind of crept into the shop for a second. And that was one of the cars that inspired the Snow White concept that you submitted last year.
So, like I alluded to, Justin's car was a big inspiration for one of our SEMA submissions for 2018. Justin's car is a beautiful car, and I'm really, really glad that we were able to work with him in the capacity that we do. And I'm very thankful for him for building such a beautiful car that inspired me to try to build something similar. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share to see more videos like this and to see what we do for SEMA this year. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.